Okay, my name is Anneli. I'm a marketing manager of the Avitta Publishers. And if you entered this house, you probably noticed that it's pretty old. Everything started from the one wooden tower, which was the part of the city's defense system, and probably the first wooden tower, defensive tower, near the harbor of Tallinn against the first enemies who entered from the sea. But over years, the defensive tower gained some floors and stone walls, and the tower and the watch house of the tower evolved into residential building, as you see it now. The building was started in 14th century, in the mid 14th century. Yes, in the mid of 14th century. And this building came home to very famous Estonian merchants family. Not Estonian, they were actually German. Yes. The name Koch, maybe in mid of 16th century. So Avitta came here 1998. It was 10 years after the company was founded by Lee, actually. So we celebrate this year our 37th birthday. And the first publications were several language teaching materials, like textbooks and all kind of memory cards of words, memory cards. You remember? Mm-hmm.
One side is Estonian, the other side is English or German. Or
German, Swedish,
yes.
Yes. And in addition to them, the publishing house started to publish all kind of educational materials for all levels from preschool to the final years of the general education. Since then, but today you can see here our printed materials, but our
you will also see digital materials.
Yeah, digital materials, which is our special focus on them, maybe last 13 years.
Yes.
So, if we have more time today, but we don't have, and if we have strong legs, I would invite you to the tower, which is tower with 5 floors, but not today. Maybe sometimes when
Or
our time.
If there is no time, we can.
It's possible today also.
It's possible.
Exit the building, and at least you can see the tower that is attached to this building. There is a very nice. That's very unique that on private hands or in this private property there is such a city wall tower that is attached to the building itself.
Yes, it's one tower from 16 towers, which belong to the city wall, and it was it has a defense, huge defensive importance in the Middle Ages. So, but now maybe I give the floor.
I have to say, in Tallinn only 2 towers is private, on private hands, but our is higher.
Little
That's
but brave.
always important.
It's really important. Always.
But how much higher?
I don't know, but
1
higher.
meter, 10 centimeters.
I don't know.
So if they put a higher flag on top, we will just raise ours a bit. Yeah, let's see about that.
Okay.
But our plan was just for now to give you a general introduction of where you are, what is a little bit the history. I will take this over now. We will have such a plan that I will a little bit explain to you about how this digital platform that you already probably know about, Opiq, has grown out of this publishing house, and how those things are connected, and how we contribute with this tradition and this know-how of coming from the textbooks background to a digital learning environment to Estonian education system, and how we digitize textbooks in Kenya, and how the same values, the same way of doing it is also applied to the Kenyan environment and to Kenyan schools, possibly with the work of, in collaboration with schools, of course, but also Kenyan educational publishers. And then Astra, who is also a part of Avita team, will show one special digital product that is also integrated into Opiq, that expands the idea of what digital teachers material is like, and how it helps to engage and bring quality education to classrooms through digital means. And before that, I will give a general introduction to Opiq, how it works, what is the value, what does a digital textbook mean, and of course show to you that it is something that is already available in Kenya as well. Because the last 3 years we have been working with several Kenyan educational publishers, also with schools, to digitize the materials and make them available for Kenyan students as well. So I will start not so much looking into the specifics of the Kenyan library or even the textbook, but just explain a little bit the story. It is very connected to being a teacher and making sure that the classroom and the pupils are engaged in the learning process in the right way. So what does it mean? And how does it correspond to the digital space? And after, I don't know, what was it, 2010 or so, so it was 20 or even more years of doing traditional and very successful publishing business, we started to think, what is this digital textbook? What should it be like? And how it becomes something that gives to the teachers and pupils something more than the paper version, what you see here. And this was the start of Opiq. So it was to digitize the learning materials from Avita, to think and create a concept of a digital textbook. And it has really been focused around the pupils. So yes, the school is something much bigger than the pupil. It's a community of teachers, it's governmental program, it's something that the pupils must do to spend their time. It's not like a voluntary, only fun place to go. So it's always a compromise of finding the pupils to be motivated in learning, to reach the learning outcomes, but it's also something that is not just for fun. So how do you find this balance? And how do you translate this to a digital product? Okay, so in Estonian education system, and I have seen this same thing in Kenya, textbook has a very important role in the classroom. So it is a tool that gives the teacher, and not only the teacher, but the school as an institution and the education system as a whole, an assurance of quality and structure.
So it is also a platform. So it's a platform where we know that curriculum is delivered in some way. That is what we expect that how the school should work. But on a more personal level, it gives a teacher the assurance of structure, of how they should go about the lesson, what are the learning outcomes, and so on and so on. And in the digital space, this does not change. The digital textbook carries the same core values. So what is then the difference? Why do digital textbook? I think for you, in a way, in Kenya, it's even easier to respond to that question than it is in Estonia, where we are a geographically very small country. The distances between schools or cities and homes is very small. The communities are quite small as well, so we don't have 50 million people, we have 1 million. So to have this assurance of access to textbooks is much easier. To have the structure and accessibility to high quality learning materials. So, but in case of Kenya, where you don't have everywhere the same accessibility of school to textbooks to high quality education, it is in a way more obvious that the digital platform provides equal access, provided there is internet access, of course. But it provides potentially equal high quality access to education for everyone, everywhere. And I mean everywhere in such sense that it's not about going to the school building, meeting the teacher there in the classroom, but wherever I am at any moment. As long as I have internet connectivity, I have a device in my pocket, then environments such as Opiq and high quality learning materials is about access to education, first and mostly. So I have access to learning materials and I have access to knowledge and I have access to the education system as a whole. So from the school perspective, I would think, yes, we provide textbooks, we provide teachers, we provide all the activities that I need to do to learn. So what the digital is bringing on top of that, or sometimes it can even replace some of that, is the assurance of accessibility to education. And Opiq is designed in such a way that mostly it is designed to be used in a school environment. So Opiq account is managed by the school mostly. Yes, there is also private user access, which means that anybody, anywhere, who wants to access these materials is able to come to the web page, make an account, purchase a license, and have access to all of those currently 177 curriculum-aligned Kenyan textbooks. However, the main purpose of Opiq is to design a learning environment that is managed by the school and the teachers who work under this school. So that means that when pupils, or when it is used in the classroom, it is done in a controlled way by the teachers together with the pupils in the school environment. So that means that when pupils engage with the materials, it is provides information for teachers who is engaging, how successfully, are they succeeding in these topics or in these materials. Teacher is arranging the usage of this content around the course structure that already exists in the school. So it follows the same way that the school teaches anyway. It just creates more accessibility, more transparency in terms of how pupils are engaging, how successfully they are engaging. And it's something that is always there for both teachers and pupils to use. In case of the traditional materials, it does not have this kind of capabilities to exchange data, to have this personalized access and so on. It wants to say goodbye to me for some reason. Okay, so my plan, if you don't have any questions or comments on top of this general introduction is to a little bit show some of the details what I was talking about. So how Opiq works from the inside. Maybe some of you have already used it in their school environment, some of you not, but I will still bring some examples that are specific to how Opiq works. And mostly I will be looking at it as a teacher, because the teachers are the ones who carry the curriculum, who carry the subject knowledge to the classroom and to the pupils. And of course, trying to connect with the Kenyan classrooms. Okay, in the case of private schools, you do not have classrooms that are so big as you have in the public schools. We have seen up to 80, 90 pupils in one classroom. So how could you even imagine to handle all of this group of people and know where somebody needs maybe more attention or less attention? You will not know it. In the digital world, it's something that is provided to you automatically if there is issues or somebody is not engaging enough or they would need special attention. Okay, so what you see here is the library of Opiq environment in Kenya. So far we have digitized 177 titles, and those titles, I guess you already see that those are familiar because they are the same titles that are available in the paper format. And I know it's, and also same goes for us, your curriculum is changing, like, you know, one day this, the other day the other. So, okay, it's the CBC, of course, it's a huge change and now it's a revision and everything. But in terms of digitization, it's also a moving target. So we have a certain capacity to digitize and to be ready with the titles, and it's not enough with the current changes and the amount of content that is available. So you have to look at the library in that way, that what is there, maybe what is coming, what we are working on, and in some areas we have more subjects and grades covered than in others. But that's, you are able to have a look and take this, to learn this from the library, what is there. But I can quickly show from the publisher's perspective, we have now this list of Kenyan publishers that we are working with, whose materials we are digitizing and making available in the Kenyan library. So I don't know if you see well to the back row, it's Longhorn, KLB, Mountaintop, Moran Publishers, Jomo Kenyatta Foundation, but this publishing house now is, as I know, is merging to KLB, or am I correct? Yes. Story Moja, Law Learning is like a digital part of the Longhorn side. I think here mostly are readers now made familiar, and we are working with other publishers as well to get them on board. So you can expect to see some of those coming here additionally. So as a teacher, if I approach Opiq library, of course, I'm teaching a certain subject and for certain grades. So as a teacher, I'm interested, okay, what is there for me? So what can I use with my pupils or in the classroom? So my task would be to find out if my textbook is here. Is here this grade and subject book that I want to actually use? So that is the precondition. There is no point in using Opiq if there is not a teacher who actually has material here that they will use in the classroom environment. So if I find a book, then what the teacher can do is just to get to know the material, and usually, and this is one of these advantages of Opiq, and how we have built the same digital culture of digital textbook usage in Estonia, is that in Estonia, as I said, textbook usage is very common. It's the thing that the teachers really rely on to get results, to engage the classroom, to do everything what they do in school. So it's a central part. And if they have already used for some years this book in the paper format, then the step to the digital, to learn how it works, what are its advantages, how I actually put it to practice, is much easier, because the book and its contents are already familiar. And that's how we say that in Estonia we have very successfully started to use digital content in the classroom because it is built on top what is already there. So it's not expecting them to totally learn everything and do everything differently. It's something that they already know how it works. And the structure, the table of contents of these digitized textbooks follows exactly the same structure as it is in the paper format. So teacher already knows all of this. What they need to learn is how it is a bit different. Where are the interactive exercises, what I can show to pupils or we can do together and they can engage in these exercises independently. How can I use this in the classroom? So, for example, if I open the chapter, then let's say the general structure is, as I said, very similar to the one that you find in the paper textbook. But, for example, I can take advantage of these different layers of content that are in the digital textbooks in new ways, such as just using it as a presentation material in the classroom. It's much better to look at these images, or if the publisher has added some kind of videos here. Why is it not opening? What, this one? This image is... it's much better to look at those videos in the classroom with a bigger screen and then have a discussion around it, or use this material in a way that it is just more engaging and easier for the teacher. Of course, this is again, I was talking this about the internet access. So everybody needs, every school, every classroom needs to have internet access. But also to use the digital textbook in the classroom environment effectively, you need a screen, a projector in every classroom. And this is in Estonian schools, this during the last 15 years, this is a normality. So in every classroom, there is a screen and the internet access. So the teachers can actually take advantage of these possibilities. So as the teacher familiarizes him or herself with the content, they can just quite easily start to use it as a first step in classroom teaching. Even if there are no licenses for pupils, or there is not this confidence or know-how to fully embrace the digital usage in a way that all pupils and also teachers are together engaged in the process. The first step is to have teachers approve that this works for them and they can use it in the classroom. So they build their confidence in what are the features, how I log in, how I find the right content. I will see the reaction of pupils. Are they going to engage with the content better if I use these digital opportunities that are here? And if this confidence of the teacher grows, then it is a logical step to add the pupils. And what will happen, I was telling before about this data and how transparent or how more transparent the learning becomes, and this makes it more effective. Because if teacher understands better what is happening in the classroom, they can be more efficient in their teaching. So how can they see what is happening? So, for example, I have here different courses. As a teacher, I'm using these digital textbooks in my teaching. Here I have the assignments that I have given to my pupils. For example, here is an assignment I have sent to my pupils working out the surface area of triangular and rectangular based prisms. So I can already see how my pupils are performing. So out of, let's say, how many pupils? Okay, I had not much. I had here 3, 4, 5, 7 pupils, and out of the 7 pupils, 2 have made this assignment with an average score of 90 to 100%, one of them 75 to 89. So I can already see the performance, even before I get into what they have actually done. So I don't have to, like in the paper world, to have this similar rate of information. I need these 7 papers in my hand physically, and I need to go through them like this, and then memorize what was the average, how the picture looks like. Can you imagine the difference of time of just looking here and seeing this immediately without any physical or actual work with the papers? So that's a small thing, but in a range of whole school year, in the range of whole week, if you optimize these small activities, you will gain a lot of efficiency. And to be honest, in general, these things have been the main arguments in the digitization of education in Estonia. You make these small steps in efficiency, so teacher will have actually more time to communicate with the pupils who need it. So they don't have to do these boring tasks of administration that take time away from the actual engagement with the pupils. And of course, I can get into more detail. I can see for each of my pupils how much time they spent, how successfully they have made this task. So I can have these overviews by pupil, but I don't always need it. I can sometimes just turn my attention to those who need it more. And for example, let's see one of these assignments from the pupil. So I can see how they have made these exercises inside the chapter of the textbook. So how she has answered to all of the questions, how much right, how much wrong. And for those that I have actually assigned them as a special assignment, I can also see how he or she, it's Lucy, how she has answered all the questions. So there is no manual work for teacher to mark everything right or wrong and spend this time on it. And here I can also leave a comment to her that good job, really nicely done. That's something you already know. Yes. So that's there are these layers of information that teacher then can decide if they use more or less, and they can really go into detail. But during all of this, they have less manual labor to check everything. So it just makes it, let's say, teachers' work more of a teacher's work and less of an administrator work. And then also, if I look at one other layer of information that Opiq provides is going back here now to the course overview. So if I have chosen a certain textbook from the library as my material as a teacher to teach, then I have constant statistics on how my pupils are progressing throughout this material. So Opiq digital textbook consists of chapters. Within those chapters, just as in the paper-based book, you have exercises. Constantly you have these automatically checkable interactive exercises that the pupils can do. So they read the material and then they can check if they have understood it, if they have obtained the knowledge that this chapter is looking for them to get. And this information of how they are engaging and how well they are answering to these questions that are inside the chapters, teacher gets constant statistics. So in this case, I have very little usage here from the students about this course in general. But if I would look more closely to, for example, George, then I see that George has worked through pretty well the first chapter independently. And out of all the questions and exercises that are there within the chapter, he has answered 92% correctly, and only 8% he has left not answered. So it's an easy way for me to quickly find how my pupils are actually working with the material, if they are progressing. And of course, if I want to go into more detail, I can see throughout the whole view of all the pupils. So usually I would expect, if we actually use digital textbooks meaningfully, that I have only a few of them who have issues. So most of them go through it successfully, but maybe I have a couple of them who who are not, I don't know, they didn't know how to log in or didn't find the right chapter, or it's just too hard for them to do this exercise. But I know it immediately. I will see this quickly without having to ask it in the classroom, and most of the pupils, they don't say that if they have an issue. They are just silent. So here they can be silent, but I know. So, and that's about the transparency. And people are motivated to learn, to engage themselves more in learning activities. Not know even, or the teacher does not understand in enough detail where is the issue. So this digital approach enables to make this open for all of us as educational institutions, as content creators, and so on. So these are the arguments of the digitization. It's accessibility and transparency. And both of those things have a lot to do with the motivation of learning. So why do we go to school at all? Why we want to educate ourselves? So these help us to be more efficient. I know it's quick, it's a lot of information, but to all of those schools who want to know more, to see and also maybe have experience from other Kenyan schools who are already using to get more practical examples, you are very welcome to ask and turn to Kadri or to myself to discuss these things further. So that's our mission, and I hope this knowledge is useful. And now we will look more closely to one specific type of digital material that is available on Opiq. It's, I would say, among Estonian teachers, it's the #1 digital product. Believe me. And it's called e-lesson. It was once on another platform. When Estonian schools were not equipped with internet so well, we created this solution to a memory stick. So a teacher had a computer, they put a memory stick into the computer, and then they connected to this kind of thing. And they were able to show and use. And then after 10, 15 years, we transformed this product from this memory stick format to Opiq. And it's a teacher manual, and Astra will show and give you some examples how it works. Okay. And later on, of course, if you have questions, we can discuss.
Use you the e-lesson. I think you agree with Antti, what Antti said before, and with us, that teachers' main purpose in the classroom is to be there for a child, to help them, to be a tutor, to focus on the purposes that students will have the best results in classroom. But I don't know how about in Kenya, but in Estonia, teachers have quite a big workload. So we think that teachers shouldn't spend his or her time for preparing materials, for making worksheets or searching materials from web. You know that everything is there, videos and things in web, but still it needs time to find this material. So our way to help teachers do their work best is to help them with e-lesson, Teacher's Guide, where we have gathered all the necessary material to prepare the lesson, to give the lesson, and make conclusions of it. So right now we have more than 42 e-lessons which are connected to those paper materials and integrated with digital textbooks. So it makes altogether this teaching and studying kit. Here are most popular, I think the best covered are the first 4 grades, where we have almost everything teacher needs: Estonian, math, science, humanities. very popular are math e-lessons, and you can see science and others also here. But this work is continuing. We are doing and updating the e-lessons and making the new ones. So there are more to come. Let's look in one e-lesson at first, that you could see what it is and what it consists. So you could understand better, I choose an English e-lesson because the others are in Estonian. And here you can see what it is. So, as I said, we have prepared all the lessons of the year. So one chapter is about one lesson, except the first ones where I translated for you in English. Starting from work plan, the first one is we have made the whole year plan. I can show you the one open here. Everything that is done in lessons is described here. All the materials that are needed and all the activities, and as you can see from there. So they have already, before they start the lessons, they have work plan.
Can they change it?
Yes, they can download it in their computers and they can change it. They can make corrections if they want to change lessons or whatever. So the next chapter is introduction, how to use this, suggestions to teacher, what to use, and
That's also in Estonia.
that's also in Estonian.
So
Okay.
you can see here it also includes the paper textbook. So it's not an exclusively digital approach to classroom. This approach is in a sense like a, let's say, a perfect scenario for the teacher. It's not prioritizing you have to be digital or you have to be this or that. It is like the best version of a classroom lesson that you can do with paper book, workbook, digital book. Everything is combined into one package. And teacher can select, here I use maybe digital, here I use maybe paper, so they are open to use these options. And these options are brought out to them, so you can have either this version, okay, sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I was just saying that it's not like a digital only view. It's actually more about non-digital in a way.
Library, okay. I accidentally opened the Estonian version. In English, here it is. So, the first lesson, actual lesson, we have described here everything that has to be done in 45 minutes, which is usual lesson in Estonia. So, at first we start from preparation, what the teacher needs to do before this lesson. Maybe she has to print out something or like bring along coloring pencils or something else. Then we have brought here prior knowledge and skills. What the students have to know before we start a new topic. Is there anything we need to revise or remember? And then we can go on with the lessons. What are the lesson aims and outcomes? I think this is one of the most important things. Why are we here for this 45 minutes? What do children have to learn? What do they have to know if we have finished the lesson? So, yeah. And lesson materials, what do we need? As Antti said, we can use paper book, we can use digital material, we can vary them. There are alternatives, what you can do, and they are listed here. Keywords and techniques, what are the main things we do in the lesson and how we do those things. What are the methods? Like here, games and coloring sheets and so on. Integrated subjects. here are not the links, but there can be links I can show you in some other lesson. It means that the same topic has been taught in like previous year or next year or in other subject, and we can take a look at it right from here and remind what was it, what we know about this already, or how is it connected. Then cross-curricular topics that come from national curriculum. Here are relevant values and morals and cultural identity. And also here in top is the plan, short plan of the lesson stages. What we do exactly, how long it takes, how long takes the warm-up or introduction, and so on. And here, when you go on, you can find all the parts of the lesson written like that. What do we do? What can a teacher do? What materials to use, and so on. And one important feature in this e-lesson is this picture you see is only in teacher's computer. This is the view teacher sees, because here is the methodological suggestions and so on. And this is teacher's material. But it also consists the material that only students can see if the teacher shows them. Those parts of the chapter are marked with the projector icon. If I click here, you can see, drag the window to the projector, it means actually, if I were actually in the classroom, I would see the text you saw before, and children will see only those slides or text or videos what are on the big screen. So I can read it from here, what to do next, and show children only their material. Here are only 4 slides, but there are e-lessons and chapters where there are lots of those. The slides can consist, like here, what to do. This is activity book, exercise 4A and 4B from page 7. And you don't have to write it down on the board. You can show them, and students will start working with activity book. Next one is the exercise from the topic exercise. Here is the flag and the family main characters from this of this textbook. But if we go back here in the beginning, introduction, course materials, you can see those blue links with Opiq sign. Here are the connection with the digital textbook. If I click there, it opens the textbook from the right place, and we can use the material in there. For example, here is one song. If you want to, we can listen, because we have made a really big job to make those lessons, not only for teacher, but for students also, of course, very interesting, emotional. The songs, the videos, the animations, all those materials are to make the lesson more interesting. And lots of those materials we have made by ourselves. Some of those are bought from local partners or from international ones. Local partners like Estonian national TV, where we can get some science clips or cultural or films or different kind of materials, but also international like BBC. We have lots of materials from them, from our Spanish and French partners who make quite good quality animations also. But here is one song. You can listen. We can listen it a bit. How it.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
5. High five. High five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody sings high five. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, such an introduction to the.
More of that, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the orange or red one, marks activity book again, so teacher can easily see what's the next, what we'll do next. And here also the green one marks the paper paper textbook. And here's the here can be some hidden material for teacher also. Not because we think that teacher doesn't know that, but because all the material should be in the one place, easily accessible, easily findable. She or he doesn't have to search for it. More difficult material or easier material, so teacher would have choices what to do. And as you can see, lots of material that helps teacher. The lesson ends with lesson description and sometimes, not always, with homework. That can be copied from here. If we in Estonia use school learning management systems like eSchool and Studium. Maybe you've heard about them already or not, but a teacher can copy the lesson description there for children and parents. And if there is also homework, that is also gathered in this media gallery you saw before, so you can show from the board what you have to do at home. So and so on. Every single lesson of the year is prepared like that. We can see some different lesson also now, not English, but where there's some more material. One of my favorites is our science material. Here is, meil on see mitte kolmas, vaid teine. Do we have the book also here? It's there. Loodus 2, aga see polegi tegelikult tähtis. The science for 2nd grade. Yeah, in addition to this textbook, and ma lihtsalt tahtsin kaart näidata, aga muud polegi. This is the book. And this is one of our newest textbooks. And here also you can see teacher at first, before he or she starts to use the e-lesson, can read the description. What does it consist? It can take some minutes to read through what material there is. This is there is one lesson in the week, so it makes 35 lessons over the year. All of those are ready-made. Methodology, images, videos, film clips, animated study songs, worksheets for classrooms, questions, answers for tests, and everything that is prepared here. And one of the lessons, why I wanted to show you the science is, though Estonia is a very small country, we still can't go always everywhere to see the nature, to see the forest or to visit some places we have to study. So we have made those things accessible for child. And this study kit is special because there is also a main character, a girl, same age as they are in the 2nd grade, Mari, Estonian version of Mary, and we'll see the nature through her eyes, like a small child sees the nature. And here is, see, they are in this lesson, they are visiting one place in Estonia, what's called Soomaa. If you ever have a chance, you should visit that because it's a very special, low place in Estonia where in the springs there are floods, and it's interesting. So we like bring the child into this place, and here is one video we have made, and I wanted to show. I'll open the slideshow, then you can see. Here are, for example, answers. Children had to do the crossword, and here are the correct answers. They can check it, did they made it correctly or not. And here you can see pictures of the book and how scientists work in there. And here is the video of Soomaa. It always, the kind of videos start with a song that introduces, this is Estonian map, and finally they will reach to the point where they are visiting. Then we won't listen this song, but start with the video. It's in Estonian, I'm afraid. The point is, you will miss the. Okay.
Let's enjoy the video from the beginning.
Okay. This is Mari.
Põhja-Eestis pead, Tallinnad seal, Lääne-Eestis suuremad saared kaardi peal, Lõuna-Eestis Tartu, Haanjärvepäev, Ida-Eestis Narvat ja Peipsi järve näed. Uurime kaarti, lupime Eestimaad, lauluga kodumaa, seireda saab. Kakri saar, Trangilumaa, Kiikululu vormsi, need on saared ka. Asulat on särm, Võru-Viljandi, Rakvere, Haapsalu, Paide, Hiiu. Uurime kaarti, lupime Eestimaad, lauluga kodumaa, seireda saab. Seireda on vahva, meile meeldib see, Soomaa nüüd lõpeb meie tee. Siin on suured sood ja kui vesi jääb üle, tuleb võtta taat, miskit muud ei jää sul üle. Uurime kaarti, õpime Eestimaad, lauluga kodumaa, seireda saab. Uurime kaarti, õpime Eestimaad, lauluga kodumaa, seireda saab.
Tere tulemast Soomaale. Mina olen Mari ja see siin on minu teadusstudio. Ma olen näinud teile igasuguseid ägedaid asju, mis soos näha võib. Kui soos on vaatetorn, siis tuleb sinna otsa kindlasti ka ronida. Ülevalt on näha, et soo on lage ja tasane ja puud on siin pisikesed. Ma teen vihti ka. Emme, lehvita! Kõndige alati mööda raudteed. Isegi loomad teevad seda. Ei tea, mis siin käinud on. Kui laudteed ei ole, aitavad rääsad, sest soo on väga märg ja pehme. See on laugas. Lauka ääres tuleb olla ettevaatlik, sest siin sisse vajuda ja laukal ei ole põhtra. Ja siin jäävad sookollid, päriselt. Mari, ära
vaata parem, mis ilusad turbasamblad.
Turbasamblas on väga palju vett. Sellepärast on soo nagu suur nuustik. Väga ilus värviline nuustik. Teadlased töötavad. Nad puurivad turba sisse augu ja sikutavad puuri jälle välja. Ja nüüd me näeme, mis seal soo sees õigupoolest on. See ongi turbas. Teadusvideo lõpp.
So you also got a brief overview about Soomaa. What I also wanted to mention, there are captions behind those pictures or videos or slides. They can be hidden also. You can show them for students, but you don't have to. This was an example from science. I'll show you something not so emotional, but useful. Example from math. How we have made just manual and what's my list? Also, one of our newest is math for 7th grade, and I think you have lots of you have a teacher's experience. It is not already so easy for everyone. You need to repeat things, you need to practice. And here are some animations or materials that also help as a teacher and student. For example, here is lesson linear function. And a simple but useful animation, 2 minutes. You can play it again and again in the classroom, so teachers can, students can watch it slowly, and you can check if they understood. It's again in Estonian, but I'll just play it a bit so you could see how it works.
And you can imagine if such an element is added to the textbook and it's accessible for pupils, they can be at home, independently repeat and see this again and again to do whatever task they need to do to understand.
Teacher doesn't have to do this by hand.
And they have access to it by themselves if they need it.
You can stop it, you can explain meanwhile and go on. What else? Examples from music, for example. The same thing, we can't always go to symphony orchestra concert with children, even if you want to, or we can't go to the nearest church to see how organ works. But here we have some nice videos about musical instruments. 7th grade again, and we have made the videos with Estonian musicians, professional musicians who introduce drums or piano or organ. For example, here you can see a music lesson. Here's recognize what this is, yes. And here's the concert. We have added the listening materials, lots of listening materials. Right here, you click on it and you read the correct version of this song or whatever art piece. Here, one of the most famous Estonian harp players, Eda Peaske, will introduce her instrument for children. We'll just watch the end of it. You bring her in a classroom with her instrument. So with music, some more examples are, we do have in science lessons like physics and chemistry, we unfortunately don't have yet, but in physics and in science, we have made some practical experiments ready for teachers. You can show them. You don't have to make the things by yourself. For example, what am I saying? Then I'll show you. Just one was experiment in science is about electricity. You can't make everything in the classroom, but here is one experiment. Made two experiments. 3. For example, like that. Short videos. We have the rule that we don't use mostly. The clip should be like 3 to maximum 5 minutes. We don't add the videos in the lessons just because it would be fun the children to watch those, but because there is a certain point, short video, and certain tasks also about that. Okay, what have I forgotten about? I think you got the main idea. I hope you got the main idea. Thank you.
Kenya and Estonian educational system, it's absolutely the same. If we have a really talented and successful students, it means we have a really hardworking Minister of Education. If our students are not so good, it's bad teachers and lazy schools and etc. It's the same. I understood it in Kenya. It's absolutely the same in Estonia also. Okay, I took a look to our curriculum also. Our curriculums are different, but we have quite a lot similar things, quite a lot. And this is what, if you look first grade maths, I don't know how many teachers here. Who are teachers here? Oh. But I'm sure the director of schools also is read the curriculum, and you will see a lot of same things what we learn. Paneme nüüd eestikeelse 1.7. Ei, 1.4. 1.4, jah. I'd like to a little bit show how we make our material. for this, for me, Opiq is really, really good thing because we have a section, but it's like you eat. You don't want big bites, but you need by little bit.
Don't eat the whole cake in
Whole
one
cake.
go.
It's impossible, and it's too much. The same is when we teach. When we teach and we learn, we have piece by piece, and this is why it's it's a section. It's a really, really good thing. Appi, sa lähed, kuhu sa lähed? Ja. She's too. And what is important in our school books, and especially in maths, we start every lesson with a small animation. And why? Because if I speak about ocean, you just can use your here, imagination. Because I don't look like ocean. I am better. And because video, it's good. You can use your eyes also. And 95% of people mostly use visual memory. And this is why video, it's absolutely important in every, and not only nature to show, maths is my favorite, not only nature, but maths also. You will see what we learn here. It's in Estonian, but you will understand. And that's the tray. It's you see, we pick the high, yeah? Long, tall and short. If you want that students will remember what you teach them, you have to repeat one thing at least 7 times. At least 7 times. 7 times, yes.
But not in a row.
But not on the same lesson. But during the school year, you have to repeat the same things. This is why we put first on the video. Then teachers speak. Then teachers speak with children, and we repeat the most important things what we learn. This is why the video is absolutely important.
Or at least an image.
Yes.
Minimum is image. Like a picture.
Like a picture.
Yes. But
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. But in maths, I prefer animation. Yes, of course. At least picture. Okay. Okay. And what I'd like to show more. We show the video, and it's the same section. Now we start to harjutama. Practice. And on the same section is a new material and practice. Näiteks, first is always easy. Next is a little bit not so easy, and that's the way. One more thing in another, I like to show the culture different. Võtame nüüd selle 1-4. 1-7 Eesti. 1-7. Nii, pane nüüd. Kuidas on hulgad inglise keeles oli? Sets. In Estonian curriculum and in Kenyan curriculum is in first grade is sets. Absolutely, it's important in maths. I show you how it's not possible to take, for example, a book from England and put it in Estonian schools or Kenya schools and etc. Because our culture is different. Set in Estonia, how we teach to children. Yeah? Mushrooms.
vaatame oma seenesaagi üle. Mina leidsin pukeseened ja puravikud.
You can't do it in Kenya because you don't have this kind of mushrooms.
Meil on nii palju söödusseeni.
Plus, what we do, what we do in maths class, we repeat science because these mushrooms we eat, this is poison. And we, same time when we learn these things in science lesson, we show it in maths. This means integration, and we can repeat the same things on maths lesson. And the same, pane nüüd see inglisekeelne, what we did once the same things for Kenya. Yeah.
Come over here. Let's see what fruits we brought. I've got some peaches and pears.
I only brought bananas. They're my favorite fruit.
We've got so many sweet fruits here. I've picked some limes and lemons. I love using them in cooking.
Yeah, but it's not as enjoyable to eat them alone like bananas or pears. They're so sour. Let's separate the sweet fruits from the sour ones.
We've got so many sweet and colorful fruits.
Let's group the fruits by their colors.
Come on, let's make some fruit smoothies. Remember, we form sets based on a common attribute and separate each set with a line.
And why this animation is really it's important for children, because if you don't understand, you can watch it again and again and again. Teacher can't repeat one thing 10 times because our nerves, we can't do it, because at least we say enough. It's normal also. This is why the animation is absolutely important in our classroom and teaching. I show you maybe last thing. One. I don't remember the publishing house name. Kenyan publisher. Yeah. KLB. CMSI. We make some different lessons. First, I show you the maths. It's not Avita book. It was a little bit difficult because in one book was written one lesson, but there was only 2 exercises. It's not enough. It's absolutely not enough. It's mean teachers has to do themselves more exercise. Another book I show you in geography was so much materials that it's not possible to understand all this with one lesson. It's too much. And this is why it was a little bit difficult to us. But anyway, I think it's possible to organize in future. You are not sure? Me either. I just try to be happy 1 minute. Okay, we make for this especially for first grade.
We wouldn't be able to say what day or term it is, or how much something costs. Even our birthdays would remain uncertain. Numbers are written using digits. Initially, people lived without numbers for thousands of years, but they still needed to count things, like how many goats they had, or how many bananas they picked. To do this, they used their body parts, hands and feet. As people have 10 fingers, it was reasonable to count to 10. This is how the current numeral system, called the decimal system, started.
We do it because it's the most important thing in math. You have to understand what is a 10. If you understand what is a 10, you will understand everything. And for me, was a little bit surprised that in Kenyan books, that wasn't so. It wasn't like so important. They just say and that's it. But we have to feel it, not only know it, but feel it. 10 and why it's 10. We have to answer all the time why, because if I say it's you have to do it, it's not so. But if I explain why, and if I show you geography, üks paragrahv, kuidas on eesti keeles? One chapter. In Kenya it's also 45 minutes, 50 minutes, one lesson. Can you look this? Look this. Who is able to learn all this?
In 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Me not. And what we have to do here? How we say, if you don't understand, delete. And I want to say to publishers, you don't have delete button. It's if you will half delete, and in a week again half. This then will be really good. Okay, this is a short excursion why we do our books like we do. If you have any question, maybe I can answer, maybe not.